What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 37 of the Block Exploring podcast, News Bytes. With me is Tommy, as always. And as always, if you came here for financial advice, this ain't the spot because we don't offer financial advice. Always do your own research. Now, in this week, or in this episode, we're going to discuss things we're really passionate about. So, we're going to be talking to you about NFT land, NFT galleries, Axie Infinity, all the good stuff. We're going to talk about some crypto meetups. But first, let's dig into the state of the market overall. I'd say that a lot of projects right now are in the red. Bitcoin as well is in the red. If you look at, well, just like the top 10 cryptocurrencies, the majority is in the red. The only thing that's slightly positive on a 7-day basis is Binance BNB, which means that people are still buying cryptocurrency and that liquidity is increasing, which is overall, I think, a pretty decent sign. Then, if you just look at the downward trend, I feel like the downward trend is, well, sloping a bit more. So it's not becoming more, the decline is flattening out. Except if you're Cardano, because Cardano, of course, is suffering from the news of eToro delisting them, which caused basically a 16% drop this week.
Peak. That's rough.
Yeah,
But
and
it
that's it.
happens.
Yeah, and CRO is still pumping.
CRO, I think we need a CRO is a serious beast to be reckoned with. Like the amount of
Mhm.
partnerships they've been stacking up. This pump could have been, anyone could have called it when someone, usually when like a project company has this many partnerships, is working with these many people, is has this level of brand recognition at the moment. Like now Staples Center is now called crypto.com arena.
Yeah,
It's Yeah, that's crazy. Staples Center is one of the biggest, most important, most popular, famous, not popular is not the right word,
well,
arenas
it's a
around,
very well-known
yeah,
arena. Yeah,
exactly. So
definitely.
now it's called crypto.com arena. So yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, this pump was in the making.
Yeah, and I think talking about pumps that were in the making, there is also a minor dump. I feel like that is in the making.
Uh,
If you followed the Bitcoin news, kind of the past, well, 2-3 days,
mhm.
Clinton has been very vocal about Bitcoin and how yesterday she stated in an interview that Russia is influencing the crypto market and China is influencing the crypto market and that that's dangerous for investors. I would like to tell our audience that the same day Morgan Stanley bought about $300 million worth of the Grayscale Bitcoin fund,
Hmm.
which either is really good timing or really poor timing.
Yeah,
But I'm pretty sure they bought it on the dip, on the very low end, and
right.
the timing to me seems very, very interesting.
Mhm.
Just when a major political player decides to warn everyone about the risks, a major fund, a major investment bank decides to buy a ginormous amount.
Yeah, I mean,
So
who knew Hillary Clinton was so well versed in crypto and blockchain to know that narratives run a lot of what's going on here. So she's just trying to spin the narrative in it. you know
true. And I mean, to be honest, if I think of Hillary Clinton, I think about blockchain. No, I'm just
Exactly.
kidding.
No brainer right there.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, Tommy, this week we've been talking about a lot of negative
A
news.
lot of fun.
I think, yeah, exactly. It's a lot of fun. We get it at this point, right?
Hmm.
I think that the nice thing to talk about is, well, the projects that we've been very passionate about for the past few months and things that honestly interest us.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
you and I have been talking about wanting to organize a human rights related kind of art gallery in the NFT space
Hmm.
with artists contributing,
Hmm.
and we're thinking and talking about that right now.
Yeah, that's true.
And l- yesterday, I think it was in the news, Axie Infinity Land, which you're big into Axie Infinity.
Hmm.
You manage, I think, like 30 people
Yeah,
in
we're on 35 scholars now.
yeah.
School.
You manage a bunch of people,
Yeah,
and yesterday I saw that Axie Infinity Land sells for
2.5.
2.48 million.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was almost 2.5 million. Yes.
yeah. That's crazy.
That's 550 ETH, ladies and gentlemen, and that's ridiculous. Like when 500, someone had 550 ETH. That's crazy to think about, but that's massive. And also Jiho, who's one of the main guys at Axie Infinity and Sky Mavis, he
Hmm.
also bought like one of these Genesis land plots. It was also a lot of money. It wasn't 2.5 mil, but still a lot of money. And that it's just like it's a clear signal that something's really going to happen in the space in regards to the gameplay, and like land play has been talked about for a long time. People picking up land, and especially like, people who are part of the project picking up land, it signals that something big's going to happen. A lot of potential and utility is going to be, created on this land, and there's obviously clear value that people see in owning some Axie Infinity land. And it's, I reckon, well, bullish for Axie Infinity in general, because this whole space is just getting a lot bigger. The game, only 1/5 of the game essentially has been released. Some
Hmm.
people think it's like 1/5. Basically, there's a lot more to the game that's coming than what's already there, and with just what we have now, which is a lot of fun and a lot of earning potential and opportunities. There's like 2 million active players.
Yeah.
You just have to think that they want to expand into so many more emerging markets. Like PUBG has 64 million monthly active players. Now that's just for one game in one country. So
Yeah.
I mean, if Axie Infinity blows up, a play to earn game, you earn by playing this game. You get paid to play. I mean, by playing this game, it's this is a paradigm shifting dynamic. That once it reaches places like emerging markets like India, rest of Southeast Asia, Latin America, I think we'll just see a huge explosion in value for the assets in the game. So that includes land, that includes AXS, SLP, RON, that you
Hmm.
can currently stake for. So it's
Yeah.
just it's you know, I like yesterday, yeah, last night I was at the first UK Axie Infinity meetup, and Psychout was there, and it was super cool to see everyone in person. But also the mix of people involved. There were people there who've been, or who are OGs and have been in the space for 2+ years maybe, and they have like 200 plus huge guilds, 200 plus scholars and that, and it was super interesting. But also to talk to like newer managers and stuff who've slowly building their guild and stuff like that. And but it's you still get the sense that we're early, even though there have been people who've been successful in Axie Infinity for 2+ years already. We're still
Yeah.
early because there's that so much more to come, including land gameplay.
Absolutely. And that makes me think of,
Mhm.
in general, right? Uh, if you look at the real world,
Yeah.
it's always been a good idea to invest in real estate,
Right.
at least
Yeah.
if you buy at the right time, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, real estate and land has always been kind of economical power for people.
Hmm.
And a trend that I'm seeing right now, and I'd like to share that with the audience, is, well, space in the NFT world. So a lot of these projects, they sell land plots. A lot of projects that are more related to art sell gallery spaces, and they give you like a social platform. Um, I think that this ownership of space in the NFT world will become pretty important, and especially in the conception of this metaverse where at least a large part of life will be online. I think that's kind of the idea that a lot of people have a shared conception of the metaverse of. I think that these spaces and all this opportunity that you're seeing in the NFT space will be very significant. So yesterday, for instance, I was looking through these projects and I stumbled on something called Hialiko. I don't know if I'm butchering that name, but basically, it's a project that mints NFT galleries and allows their user to basically host their own NFTs on this gallery. And they have a big roadmap, and they're working on letting artists uh, have minor exhibitions also, and for you to collaborate with others and basically create your own tiny metaverse in which you have an exposition of all these NFTs. And I think that they're planning to move beyond just an art exhibition, but make it an actual space, an actual functional space. So I really think that this is one of those use cases that we were talking about, I think, a few months ago, like digital real estate.
I think it's people really need to make that switch in terms of understanding where the value of this digital real estate comes from. It's massively more liquid than real estate and land in general in real life, and I would argue the utility is almost far far superior. I'm not superior, but far greater. Where obviously, if you own land in real life, you can start a farm or something. You can build a house on it. You can build a store or something. And that's real world utility, and that's it generates revenue. It's a good investment in general, right?
Hmm.
But with the metaverse, with this uber liquid land, which it makes it very easy for you to offload. But the potential with it being digital is that you can make anything. You can make a gallery,
Yeah,
like you've just said. You can make whole headquarters where people can come into and interact. Where in Decentraland, there are loads of in real life companies who've built metaverse companies, like headquarters where people can go interact. Whether they can have different rooms for different things. They can have a game room where people can enter and play games and online, with each other in this world. Or they can either go to another room where they're in a gallery, and you can generate value in so many ways from
yeah.
this single plot of land, which is amazing. Which is Yeah, which is sick. In Decentraland, I even saw a full-on casino.
I think that's kind of the a future use case
Mhm,
in the NFT space, right? It's not just art, but there's also a solid opportunity for exploiting land, or at least having or buying your own form of a platform,
mhm,
and then allowing others to use it. As for instance, right now, a Hialico plot is, I think, zero point 0.1 ETH,
mhm.
right? Let's say ETH 100x's, then that plot also automatically becomes a whole lot more valuable.
Also,
And
yeah.
yeah, and that makes it much more scarce for people, and that makes the platform much more valuable. And then,
Mhm,
these effects, I feel, they will compound.
yeah.
And in the long term, the earlier you are to this, or at least to understanding this, the more options
Mhm,
that you have, and the more, yeah, the more you're ahead of the herd. And I'm not saying this as like, oh, of course it's a whole lot less liquid than just buying and selling coins as a trading strategy.
mhm,
But I think from maybe a more, well, deep into crypto, building in the crypto space perspective,
mhm.
that these opportunities are real opportunities that
Yeah.
you would be crazy not to look into.
Yeah, I think one almost has to approach it with an entrepreneurial mindset, because
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, of course, like, yeah, if you're a trader, you're probably gonna think you're buying this to offload it very quickly. But someone who really, I mean, someone I imagine that is going to buy digital real estate is someone who's looking to build on that real estate to extract as much value from having this asset of theirs, which is what it is, an
yeah,
asset which they can develop from then on. It's an exciting time. I feel like there's just we're only touching the real, like scratching the surface of the potential of land, and it's these
yeah,
and people. It's not the thing is, like, people already know uh, that this is gonna, people are building this space. They're doing some amazing stuff with land, and that's why these blue chip land plots
hmm,
go for so much. That's why Axie Infinity Genesis land plot, went for 2.5 mil, because
yeah.
people already have caught on to this. It's in the space, the blockchain NFT crypto space. When yeah, the rest of the world just has to catch up, quite frankly.
The moral of this episode is, in a way, sure, we have a bunch of bearish news, we have a bunch of FUD, but
Mhm.
don't let that distract you from all the opportunities outside of just trading crypto
Right.
that are in this space. And I think with that being said, have a nice week, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Take it
Peace.
easy.